Welcome, everybody, yet another episode of the Wrestling vs. the World podcast. If you're all enjoying your day, sweet. If not, then what the hell ever. So, it's the first episode of 2026. And it's been a while since I've talked about this show, but I thought I'd finally get back into this. WWECW. Today, we're going back on the July 11, 2006 episode of the show, the first one of the Big Show ECW Champion era. The first man to ever be WWE, WCW, ECW champion, maybe the only guy, if memory serves me correctly. But let's go over this because there's some things to remember about this show. So the episode begins with a replay of last week's stuff with RVD and the ECW Championship. But no, the video package does not show the part where Paul Heyman took a drink upside the head. That would have been awesome. So that was kind of a bit of a letdown to start. And it's also announced that Big Show is defending his newly won ECW Championship against the Nature Boy Ric Flair in an Extreme Rules match. So his first televised title defense isn't even against somebody on the ECW roster because the brand split still means nothing. We've already seen that over the last month, though. I mean, he could have defended it against Tommy Dreamer because we've seen some interactions between them ever since Big Show came to the brand, but they're like, no, we got to go with the Raw superstar. Why have the brand split at this point? I mean, it's going to be a recurring theme, especially as we go along, but still. So now we get into the ring. Paul Heyman comes down with his two disguised police guards that should not be mistaken as ICE members, with their riot shields and everything, because they don't want tear gas thrown back at them. They might have been the Bastard Brothers at this moment, but I'm not 100% certain. Like, I know that was what was said later, but I don't know if it was right off the bat. So Heyman, he addresses last week's screw job and says that, hey, you fans, you should blame yourselves for RVD's downfall. You're all to blame for his 30-day suspension, which I did for his own well-being. Of course, this was a cover-up to hide the fact that RVD was suspended because of his legal issue from the previous week prior to him losing the titles. But still, nonetheless. Heyman then says that the fans were driving RVD into an early retirement, early grave, and serious burnout. And I listen to this, I'm like, wait a second, since when do any bosses give a shit about that? I have never heard of bosses ever caring, really, if their employees are getting, like, burned out or, like, close to an early retirement or grave or anything, because they care about numbers, they care about productivity, they care about results. There's like, oh, you're burned out? Who gives a shit? But yet, oh, Heyman, oh, I'm such a nice guy, I care. So he says that he sacrificed his friendship with RVD for the last 10 years for the sins of the fans. So again, you gotta blame the fans for everything, that's what it always happens. He then promises to be the Messiah for the fans. But yeah, I don't think he understands this is not Monday Night Raw, you're not Seth Rollins, this is in 2020. So he vows to bring the ECW to the promised land, but December's gonna put that into question. We already discussed that on the podcast before. So he goes backstage. They don't show gorilla position, but it's afterwards. And he walks past some ECW superstars. You see the full-blooded Italians. You see Balls Mahoney, Roadkill. And he comes up to Tommy Dreamer, who's not happy about any of this. He's questioning, dude, what are you thinking? We've all been loyal to you and everything since back in the day, and yet you stab RVD in the back. And Heyman's like, oh, I would love to talk about this, but I don't have time to chat. And you don't have time to chat either because your match is next. So Dreamer's got a match next. Sabu's going to be in action, and Candice Michelle is joining the newest edition of Kelly Kelly's Expose. Oh joy! So we get to the opening match. Tommy Dreamer, who is wearing a button-up red shirt, is taking on a mystery opponent, and it's Test. Now, I will admit, after seeing Test's return match against Al Snow the last time, this looks hopeful. So let's see what goes on. Dreamer, he's taking the fight to the outside early, but his momentum quickly gets stopped. He gets rammed spine first into the ring post. Pretty painful there. And Taz, he's spending good time dominating Dreamer and trash talking him, saying, oh, you're a loser, you're nothing, yada, yada, yada. This is Tommy Dreamer you're talking about, okay? Not the renegade from WCW. And he locks him in a bear hug. Quickly, it's broken out with an eye rake by Dreamer. And he gets a couple neck breakers, so Dreamer is getting some hope in the crowd. But his Dreamer DDT gets stopped and gets planted with the full Nelson Slam. Good move there by Tess. Tess, he misses the double drop off the top rope. And then when Dreamer tries to go for the Dreamer Driver, a.k.a. the Death Valley Driver, which I'm surprised The Undertaker never did, despite being from Death Valley. And, of course, Tess stops it to roll him up and use the ropes as leverage to get the win. So, kind of a fast little bit match there, but Tess is on a roll here. Even with his roid belly that he had going on there upon his return. Now, backstage, you also get a quick little segment. Candice Michelle is getting ready, and she's talking to Kelly for their expose segment. And Candice, before it looked like she was trying to possibly kiss Kelly, she says, I'm going to make our dance tonight extreme. I would love to know the details on that. Now, after the break, we also get Ariel, the vampire woman, shown backstage, doing some tarot card readings again, which I still don't know anything about. I did not learn anything about that when they put it in Cyberpunk 2077, and I still don't know now. And then out comes Kevin Thorne right behind him. He's not outside the arena hissing at the camera, but once again, he is spitting blood all over the camera lens. So once again, I have to say, he needs immediate medical attention, because internal bleeding's not a good thing, Mr. Vampire Man. Now, Kelly's expose finally goes on with Candice Michelle, dancing everything, and every square inch of the Target Center there in Minneapolis gets sticky. Everybody better wash their shoes. And then, as expected, Mike Knox comes out with a towel, being like, nope, I'm pulling an RTC and I'm censoring this shit. And Kelly's like, no, I'm not taking part in this. Throws a towel back at him, and then out comes the Sandman with the Singapore cane. Be like, nope, we're going to stop this protest. You are not stopping this group orgy here in the Target Center. So, Kelly and Candice Michelle, they peel backstage, and Sandman's beating the hell out of Knox with the kendo stick, or the Singapore cane, up onto the platform. One last shot, Mike Knox, no pun intended in any of that shit, but knocks him into that background that was right behind the platform to get rid of him. So, yeah, good thing. Instead of Sandman going against these weird characters like Nacho Libre and the freaking Big Dick Johnson and the Zombie and all of them, he's actually being up Mike Knox, being like, how dare you cock-block these fans? I mean, Sandman's doing it for the good of the fans there, right? Now, we also get another backstage vignette again, because we gotta be reminded, CM Punk's on his way to ECW, and he's talking about his tattoos. He's got drug-free on his knuckles, he's got a heart that says honor. I mean, I was surprised he didn't point to the Pepsi tattoo. It's like, do you like Pepsi or diet? Like, can we get clarification on that one on your shoulder? Now, we finally get to the second match, and this one I remember they put in one of those ECW documentaries when they revisited it later on the network or Peacock or whatever. Sabu versus Baldo Montoya. The scammer himself, just incredible. And even during the beginning, referees taking away Sabu's chair during his entrance, because, don't forget, this isn't Extreme Rules. It wasn't advertised that way at all. So Sabu, he's fighting with Just Incredible, gets a nice somersault plancha to Incredible on the outside, who's trying to get a table under the ring. Still trying to do some basic back and forth fast-paced wrestling, doesn't last long. Sabu sets up the table outside, and I noticed the metal siding that's supposed to be stuck around the edge of the table, it's completely fallen apart, and there's duct tape at the end of the table. Hopefully I'm not exposing any weird secrets about how weird this table is. Sabu, they're Incredible, they brawl a little bit again on the outside. Incredible's bent over the table, Sabu on Brett's rope from the apron, gives a leg drop to Incredible through the table, and ends in disqualification. That doesn't give an ECW feel to the show now, does it? Because right now, we're only 5-6 episodes into the show, somewhere around there, and they've already got a match ending in disqualification. I know you can't overdo the Extreme Rules type stipulation for everything, because it's gonna run out of weapons to use, and you're gonna numb fans to the extreme nonsense. I mean, I know I'm sounding like Jim Cornette when I'm talking about that, but it's just to have something under the name of ECW end in disqualification is a slap in the face. Might as well bring Stephanie McMahon along, why don't you? Now, backstage, we also get the former Santa Claus, Balls Mahoney, cutting a promo. Didn't really say a whole lot, despite just reminding us, hey, my first name is Balls. Ha ha. Then Ric Flair, he's cutting a promo backstage to prepare everyone for his match with Big Show in a moment. And he says that he'll win the ECW title tonight to become a 17-time champion. So I guess this means that they technically recognize the title as a world title during this time, because why else would he make that statement? He's also making comments on Mick Foley, because he's still in a feud with them and everything. I mean, they're not going to have a match yet again until they get to SummerSlam, but you got to keep that feud going there, even though it's not Raw. And then backstage, we also see one more quick little video package to show, hey, Shannon Moore is silently saying that he's coming. I mean, as long as he's not Veer Mahan or Emelina, it shouldn't take too long. Or even me during my first time. Anyway, so main event. Ric Flair challenging Big Show ECW title match in Extreme Rules match, where the brand split means nothing. So right off the bat, a fun little note here. The referee is holding up the title like he does during the ring introductions, and he's accidentally holding the belt upside down and he realizes it has to turn the belt right side up. Somebody had to have told him. I don't know if it was Big Show, because you could only see Big Show from the back, but he looked at somebody, he's like, oh yeah, the belt's upside down. Why didn't anybody tell Goldberg that when he held the World Heavyweight title like 3 years prior? So the referee's also doing that weird pat down like a TSA agent on the guys. Like, I know he does that to pass off instructions, but he could just like lean into them to talk to them instead of pat down, because let's say he found something. Why would there be the point of? Because it's Extreme Rules. If he finds a weapon on them, they can use it. Brass knuckles, a blade, a thumbtack, something. Anyway, so you get, like, not much action before the commercial break, because like that came rather quickly. You come back from the break, and Big Show, he gets like a trifecta of headbutts to Flair. He's already blading. So from Ric Flair to Ric Blade there. I know, a different person, but still, you get the joke. And Show, he even gives a couple of knife-edge chops, which actually sounded pretty good to Flair, even compared to his regular overhand chop, you know, like, shh, chop, woo, and all that. Flair, he gets to the outside for getting dumped out there. He's got the trash can of weapons, but he can't use them yet because Show's still dominating. So Flair, like, he gets in the ring, and they didn't get a good camera angle at first, because, like, he flips off Big Show, challenging him to come and get him. It kind of looked like they were going that same camera angle like you saw with Kofi Kingston and Samoa Joe, which you didn't have to do that cover up there. It's 2006. We're not PG yet for another couple of years. So Flair, he's trying to come back. He's getting aggressive. And Big Show, like, he's getting too confident on himself, which gives Ric Flair the chance to do 2 uppercut low blows and then 2 back-to-back punting low blows to Big Show's nuts. I've seen some videos here on YouTube, and I've lost count of how many times Big Show has gotten hit in the balls over the years. Like, holy crap. He gonna chokeslam you? Kick him in the nuts. You getting confident? Kick him in the nuts. Don't know what to do at the beginning of the match? Yeah, straight to the nuts. So then Flair goes and brings the trash can in there. He's got weapons. And now he's got that barbed wire bat. The same one, it looks like the same one from WrestleMania 22. And he starts taking shots at Big Show and even rakes him in the face to cause him to bleed. So now both men are bleeding. Great hazard right there for any blood-borne illnesses there. But now we got some weapons going out. We got trash can. He gets wrapped around Big Show's large noggin a few times. Chair shots to the back and torso of Big Show, taking him down. You get the rare near fall in here because they're not trying to out-wrestle each other or be like, oh, I got to end this fast. So Big Show easily kicks out like at 2 there. And Flair, he opens up the bag, and out comes the thumbtacks. Y'all probably remember this very easily. So Flair grabs the new chair, 3 consecutive chair shots to Big Show's head, knocks him into the thumbtacks. That just angers the Giant. Gets right back up, takes down Flair with a choke slam, and puts him in that Cobra Clutch backbreaker. Holds into the hold while they're down, and the referee's like, alright, that's it, rings the bell. Flair can't continue, and then Big Show locks the hold back up when they get back up, and then launches, like ragdolls Ric Flair, front first into the thumbtacks. Pretty gnarly there. So, yeah, that was a good main event. Like, it was weird to see Ric Flair getting extreme. Like, I know he had some extreme moments and everything earlier in his career, but you didn't really expect it at this point. Like, this was a really good main event, I'll give it that, and I also did like his later match with Mick Foley at SummerSlam, admittedly. But to see Ric Flair at his age getting extreme in a main event like that is pretty surprising. But again, like I said with my criticism earlier, you bring Ric Flair here to challenge Big Show for the ECW title, thereby negating the brand split. Like, I could understand when they did that before, like with RVD being champion and everything, because double champion going against Edge and the WWE title, so that made sense at least. But this, not so much. But yeah, this was a whatever episode. Because like I said, Tommy Dreamer Test, it helped Test look dominant again. The Sabu Baldo Montoya match was pointless. A lot of vignettes added in here. Missing RVD kind of deflated everything. And Heyman's logic, for like his thing from last time, but it was whatever. It was a fine episode. I'm not looking forward to the beginning of August, though. I'm already sweating that. But let me know in the comment section below, what did you all think about this episode of ECW July 11, 2006? Just let me know what y'all thought. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, folks, leave a like, subscribe to the bell, turn on here on YouTube, comment down below, and I'll catch you all next time. Thanks for listening, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, and good everybody, and Happy New Year, y'all.